All around the country, Black people are being killed at the hands of the police, from Ferguson to New York to Cleveland and Minnesota. Our communities have gathered again and again to mourn the loss of our loved ones taken by the state. In 2017, there were 987 people fatally shot by the police, 24 more than that in 2016. And in Nashville, the so-called It City, we have not been immune to this nationwide problem. On December 17th, the year 2000, Timothy Lamont Lane, only 33 years old, was killed by Officer Donald Purtle of the Metro Nashville Police Department. Even as the normal routine, placing the officer on administrative duty, followed by explanations of why the killing was justified, played out, advocates were calling for community oversight of the police. We sat down with Timothy Lane's family.
Timothy was my baby son.
He was just a big kid, just fun-loving and just a great person to be around.
And they came down there and just shot him down like a dog.
It was something you like in a movie. You just kind of go in time, you just kind of go back within yourself. Although I kind of knew and was bracing myself for the worst possible news, it still doesn't prepare you for the reality.
I was just a girl, and we had come home from school, and I remember the chaplain calling. And so when my mom talked about falling, I literally remember her sliding down the wall. We still had the old school phone. She was on the house phone. She dropped the phone fell down, and she just slid all the way down the wall crying.
It's been 17 years, but that's been still the hardest thing. And in my memory, you'll never forget things like that.
On the afternoon of February 10th, 2017, Jacquees Clemens, 31 years old, was killed by Officer Joshua Lippert of the Metro Nashville Police Department. After months of investigation, the district attorney determined that Jacquees' death was justified. We sat down with Jacquees Clemens' family.
Jacquees was full of life. He always had a smile on his face.
She called me crying. I said, "What's wrong?" She said, "Babe, you got to come and get me from work. Jacquees done been shot." So I'm thinking somebody done try to rob him or something.
And eventually the doctor came in and said that he had tried everything he could to save him. Joshua Lippert murdered my son.
It's hard to lose a son, any child, that someone that done took their life, and they didn't have to. That Officer Lippert didn't have to shoot him that many times. He already had shot him in his leg and wasn't nowhere else he could go.
Following the murder of Jacquees, Nashville's activists and organizers, outraged by his killing, brought a city council meeting to a halt, demanding action from the city in response to Jacquees' killing.
I have really never seen anything like this. A Metro Council meeting grinds to a halt as protesters and their voices take over.
No justice, no peace!
It was a march that started the same as others in Nashville over the last few weeks.
Justice for Jacquees!
But tonight, on the steps of Nashville's historic courthouse,
it looks like people are moving toward the doors here. Let's follow them.
Similarities ended.
Step back beyond those steps, please.
Angry over the Metro officer-involved shooting that killed Jacquees Clemens more than a week ago.
As long as everybody acts appropriately, no signs in the courthouse.
With no signs and no banners.
These protesters weren't going to let the doors that led to the Metro Council meeting.
If you want to go in, give us your signs.
Stop them. And inside the meeting,
we are not leaving until we get a response.
The protesters wouldn't let an already set council agenda that didn't include them stop them either.
We still need to know that our voice be heard.
Presenting council members with a situation they likely never imagined what to do about this.
Amend the agenda!
No. Meeting is adjourned for 5 minutes. Please clear the audience.
Justice for Jacquees!
Following the murder of Jacquees, Mrs. Clemens Lee and the Justice for Jacquees Coalition have protested at the East Precinct weekly, demanding that Officer Lippert be fired.
What got me involved was I'd seen these sorts of events of police killing unarmed black men primarily around the country, but it had never happened in a community where I live. And I'm a Nashvilleian, I pay taxes here. My taxes still pay for Joshua Lippert to serve on Nashville's police force.
Other groups, including Gideon's Army, Interdenominational Ministerial Fellowship, Nashville NAACP, Tennessee NAACP, Black Lives Matter Nashville, Showing Up for Racial Justice Nashville, Urban Epicenter, Democracy Nashville, and Democratic Communities, Workers' Dignity, Nashville Peacemakers, and the Justice for Jacquees Coalition have collaborated to renew the fight for a community oversight board in Nashville.
A community oversight board is a board that investigates police misconduct, allegations against police officers. The one that we have in Nashville that we're proposing, it also has the authority to recommend policy review changes for the entire justice system.
Community oversight boards have been in existence since the 40s, and in Nashville this isn't even the first time that this effort has gone underway.
Oftentimes we are told that we are living in a post-racial society and that we're equal, but that's just not the truth. We're more segregated than ever.
We live at a time when black people are shot or murdered at the hands of the police at alarming levels.
We've seen the hashtags, we've seen the uprisings that have happened in a lot of major cities, and even in Nashville it's happening. Growth is happening, change is happening, and our governance structure and the way that we understand public safety has to evolve with that.
Accountability matters.
Accountability matters.
Accountability matters.
Accountability matters.
In Nashville, accountability matters to not only us, but the everyday community people here in our city.
Community oversight now!